So, hello friends, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. I hope you have liked my previous video on this channel. So today, the purpose of this making, of this particular video section is that we'll be diving deep into the tools section of MCP, where we are going to build two MCP server with few tools out there. So one MCP server, I'm just briefing you, giving you the heads up what you are going to see in this particular video. That we are going to build two MCP server out there. One MCP server, it will expose a Excel sheet like a demo database for us, and another MCP server will have to function where it will keeps a certain text on our note, save it on our notepad, and whenever else it will bring the data from the notepad. So it has a two MCP server. We are going to build two MCP server today. Then we are going to configure it with the Claude Desktop and ask the Claude question like that. You know, uh, let's say give me the salary distribution by department or analyze the salary distribution by gender. Though those kind of questions will come up, then we'll see that how Claude client is working with our own MCP server, two of MCP server, and getting the data. The data is getting analyzed by Claude Desktop, and also whenever we want, we are going to save the data to our node, and obviously in future we are going to also bring up our own node, whatever we have saved earlier. So that's a simple introduction that I want to give before I just start the working session. Now, again, the same thing. If you like this video, this channel, and if you like my presentation, and if you think that it is helpful for you, then keep subscribing to this channel. Click on the notification icon so that you can get a regular notification from this channel whenever I publish any kind of video over here, technical. And also like the video and put your comments, suggestion, any question that you have on your mind. I will try to answer those questions as soon as possible from my end. And of course, your like, your comment, your subscription, that is the only motivation I have to create this YouTube channel and keep publishing my video onto this YouTube channel. So give me something encouraging from your end. So without any further delay, let's jump in to our coding environment and create our MCP server. Let's do some coding.
Hi everyone. In the last episode, we briefly talked about the MCP server and MCP tools. So today our objective to do a deep dive in the tool sections and find out more. We'll be building our two custom tool for one particular purpose to solve one particular use case. And we'll write some code and we'll give the example how to use those tools in the MCP server. So now this is the MCP main documentation, as we talked about. So we are dealing with the tools today. So what is a tool? Tool a powerful, primitive in the model context protocol that enables server to expose executable functionality to the client. Okay. Through tools, LLM can interact with the external system, perform computation, and take action in the real world. So, if you remember in previous episode, when we are discussing about the MCP architecture, we told you that MCP server contain a lot of tools, and MCP client can connect to a different server to get all the tools and pass it to LLM with a particular question or query that was supplied by the user and ask the LLM which tool I'm going to use. Okay. Now the LLM actually does not execute any kind of tool. What does LLM do is that, it pass back the information to the agent, the caller that, hey, you want to solve this particular purpose. So in your arsenal, you have this particular tool, execute the tool and give me the result back. Okay, that is the whole purpose. So we'll start from a fresh new project aspect. So this is my, I'm working on VS Code. So this is completely blank right now. So what should be our step? So we should be first, initialize our project. So obviously you are going to use UV UV init over here just to initialize the project. So as you see, that it has been initialized over here, and we have a project structure over here, but it's absolutely blank, nothing is here. So let's first, next step, we'll be creating our virtual environment. So that should be UV VNV. It should create the virtual environment for us because we are working on Python. So the virtual environment is needed. So where is my virtual environment? My virtual environment is under VNV script activate over here. Means so VNV script activate is a back file that we want to execute, but the actual Python is over here, python.exe. So this is my virtual environment. Why a virtual environment is needed in Python? Because if you want to install some packages of Python, so it should be installed locally in this virtual environment. It will not affect my total entire laptop in the global system. So that was the purpose of creating a virtual environment. Okay. Now let us clear our screen. Oh my goodness, what I have tapped. That should be CLS. Okay. Now, if we are over here, then what we need to do, we can create a fresh command prompt over here, and if you type where, you will see that where Python. Okay, so it will not show you the virtual environment because the virtual environment is not loaded. So first, what we need to do, we have to type VNV script activate. So that will activate our virtual environment. Now you see this one has come up. So our virtual environment is just over here. We are targeting this python.exe. Now if you do the similar activity, means while Python, you will see what is happening. Now see the first line from where it is speaking the Python for the virtual environment. So our job is done. It is speaking the virtual environment. Nice. Now once that is done, what exactly we are going to do? Here we need to install MCP CLI. So UV MCP CLI. Okay. So it can happen. See, we work on too many languages actually, and we forget the ultimate command. So if you are like me, then what you need to do, you just type over UV. Okay, and let's see what are the command available in UV. Okay, this one. We should be targeting uv.add. Okay. So let us do one more time, UV add MCP CLI. So it will add MCP CLI for our project. Great. Now if you open up the project dependency file, you will see that under dependency section, the MCP CLI has been added. Nice. Now we need to create a our, let's say we are going to create a server, right? So, and the server is going to expose our tools. So for that purpose, what we are going to do that we'll create a folder which called data. Okay, we'll create a folder called data over here. Nice. Okay, now once that folder is being created, we'll put an Excel file over here. Okay, so let me show you the Excel file that we are talking about. Okay, so let me copy. Okay, let me put the Excel file in the data folder, and I will show you how the Excel is containing. Okay, so you see the data Excel file has come over here. So how the Excel looks like? The Excel looks like this one. It's purely simple. It's contain a demo employee database information. Okay, this is the thing that we are talking about. Okay, so it has, I think, 10 rows over here. Okay, first name, last name, country, state, city, sales, salary, age, sex, and department. Okay, 10 employee are over here. So that is our, we are going to mock our database actually. So let's say it is our database. Okay, now we want to expose this particular database via a tool, so that if we fire a query based on this targeting this database, then we should be getting some answer from the LLM. That was the sole objective of this practice. Okay, now what exactly we are going to do over here is that we are going to create another folder over here. Okay, that's called our server. Okay, Now, under the server, we are going to create one particular file. So for this tutorial purpose, I am not going to, write all the code in front of you, because, writing a code in front of you that will extend this tutorial, which I am really not interested in to do right now, because it's a very short tutorial and it is demonstrating the tools capability of the MCP server with a real use case. Okay. So let me copy paste the code and I will explain the every line of this particular code. Okay. So let me create my, file first. So that called employee.py. Okay. It's completely blank file. Now let me grab my code. Okay. I'll paste it over here. I'm doing it first actually for you. You see, what it is doing. Okay. Now here, one thing you have to remember, whenever you are clicking on the Python file, okay, for the very first time, so your VS Code may pick up your virtual environment or may not. So as you see, my VS Code has picked up my virtual environment correctly. Okay. If it is not is picking up, okay, and you will see that, this MCP error will come up because we have installed MCP in this virtual environment. Okay. Panda is coming up, I will resolve it. Okay. Now, if you do not see that, it is not showing VNV script python.exe, then please click over here. Okay. And, enter your virtual path, browse to the virtual path, find, okay, and you can go over here in server, okay, and if you go back to the virtual environment script, okay, under the script you just select the Python over here. Okay, so for me it is all automatically picked up, so I don't need to do it. Okay. Now you see that it is missing the library Panda. So obviously, because we have not installed any kind of Panda. If you go to the dependency section, you will see that Panda is not here. And also, to read the Excel file, I will need the open, this OpenPy Excel, this package also. So I'm not going to use pip, rather I am going to use UV. So let me copy this section. These two libraries needed to execute these things. So what I'll do, same that UV add, then just this one. Okay. So it will install these two packages in the virtual environment. Let it be installed, then I will come to the code. Okay. Now go to the Python version, check one more time. It is being installed. So Python version, this one. Okay. Yeah. You see that new to dependency has been installed by the UV. Okay. We are good to go. Now, what is happening over here? I have this particular Excel file which containing my demo data of the employee in this data folder. Okay. So what is exactly happening? I'm creating a tool over here. The tool name is that, get employee info, and the decorators thing and server name is the employee for here. So in my previous tutorial I have already covered the section, so you can switch back to the previous version to understand why we are writing this kind of comment first MCP, and what is this meaning. It's a decorator, what does it mean? I have covered all the section in my previous video tutorial, so you can refer back to that. Okay, now here we are creating a very simple Python function, okay, get employee info, that we are exposing as MCP tool by this decorator. So for me, this is my MCP server, so it is @MCP tools. If I define my MCP server like ABCD, then it should be @ABCD.tools. Okay, this is the important portion over here. Okay, now this is a very simple Python function. What it is doing that so when you define a particular Python function that is exposed in the MCP server, like for a tool purpose, two things become important. One is this decorator, and another thing is very, very important, that this doc string, which describe this particular Python function. It have to be absolutely perfect, because with this doc string, LLM will going to understand what is the purpose of that tool, so that it can suggest back to the client that hey, you have this particular tool with you for this particular thing, what to do actually, you can execute this particular tool. Okay, so LLM will never have the access of your entire function. Okay, it will never execute the entire function for you, rather it will be looking back to the doc string of the function or tool that is available in the MCP server that was exposed by the client to the LLM with a particular query or task in hand, rather I should say that way, and LLM will redirect the client saying that hey, you need to work on this tool, execute this particular tool, and give me my result back so that I can work on it further. Okay. So your doc string become extremely important so that LLM can clearly understand what is the purpose of this particular tool. Okay. So as you see, for this particular thing, we have said that, read employee information, return it as JSON. Okay. And what is the return time? A JSON string containing the employee information. So LLM will understand that, if the user query is related to employee, then I need to fire up this particular tool to get some answer from the employee data source. Okay, that's the whole purpose. Now, it's very simple. Actually, we are doing a waste.map path just to find the folder where the data folder is. Okay, and this is a pure Python thing. You can understand, and every comment is there. That we are fetching this particular, employee underscore info Excel file from this, folder path. Okay, we are reading that waste path, absolute path. This is the file path, and we are using Panda. That is why Panda is very important over here. We are executing a function called Panda read Excel. Okay, that needs two parameters. If you touch over here, you will see that file path is needed over here. Okay, so we are specifying that and ng says open Excel. So now here we are doing that, Panda returns a data frame. So if you touch over here, you will see that, this particular method return a data frame. Okay. So now it's returning a data frame over here. Okay. Now what exactly we are doing? We are doing the df.toJSON. ToJSON make a data frame, convert it to JSON. Okay. And return it back. So this an exception is, if the file is not found, it will return an exception. If it's a read exception, it will return a read exception. Then the function ends over here. Now, what exactly we are doing? As you know that, writing these things will not work and will not run the MCP server until and unless we are executing, the name equal to main, then mcp.run. This line is very important. If you miss this line, the server will still exist, but server will not be executable or runnable. Okay. So make sure you are executing this command mcp.run to run the server. Okay. Now, let us go back. Now, this is our, employee function over here. Okay. Now, what we need to do, see, we can execute this actually in two ways actually. So first, we need to verify whether whatever we have written, our MCP server, blah, blah, blah. And, we are running this with a protocol. So transport protocol, if you remember, I talked to you in the, previous tutorials that, if you do not specify any kind of transport protocol, then by default, it takes stdio as its transport protocol. Okay. So if you do not specify anything, it should be stdio. Okay. Now let us, execute MCP. So again, if you forget the comment, so let me clear the screen. You can run over MCP. Okay. Let us see what is the command is available over here. Okay. See, sometimes you as a developer, as a programmer, you are working on so many tools, so many comments, right? So it is possible that sometimes you hallucinate all the comment and you forget the comment. There's no issue, absolutely. Okay. You just need to see what are the available options over here. Okay. So as you see, if I type MCP over here and if MCP is correctly installed in this virtual environment, then it returns back me this kind of 4 things. So it has a version, so it will show you the MCP version that is being installed over here. Then it runs the MCP inspector. Okay. So that is what exactly we are going to do right now. So we are going to run the MCP inspector for us just to see whether our MCP server is correctly configured or not. Okay. So let us do that thing. Okay. So that should be, let us change our directory to server. We are in the server. Okay. Now employee.py, right? Okay. MCP dev emp employee.py. You just need to type these things. Okay. And other things will be auto-populated for you. Let it run. It needs some time. So for the first time, if you are executing any kind of MCP command, at least for my, configuration, I have seen that it takes a little bit of time. After that, it does not. But for the very time, first time when I execute those things, it just take a little bit of time. Okay, nice. So as you see, this is our MCP inspector has come up. Okay, and one thing we have to make sure. So if I circle back to this, you will see that this session token. Okay, just make sure onto your MCP inspector, if you go to the configuration section over here, make sure the proxy session token is come up rightly. In my case, it is. Okay, now let me close this section. I just need to connect it. And remember, this is the command argument that is going to be executed by MCP inspector to connect my, oh, it is not weather server, I believe, right? Why it is speaking of the weather server? Okay. For the first time, if you do so, sometime, see, because I have worked previously onto this MCP server. Okay. So that is why it is showing the weather server. Okay. Let me connect it first. Obviously, I don't have any web app server. Okay. So what is the name of my server? That is, if you come down over here in the code section, so that is my MCP server. Okay. Now let me connect it. Okay, it is saying some error over here in the proxy section. Let us verify, the proxy one more time. Okay, not connected, blah, 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 blah. Where is my proxy? Okay, here is my proxy. Let us copy this proxy. Go back to the MCP client and let us paste this proxy over here. Try to connect it. Okay, let me refresh it. It takes some time to connect to this MCP server. Okay, or what you can do, actually, you can close this one for now and you can stop this one. Now you can run the same command one more time. Now if you come down over here and you can change for the proxy configuration. So, okay, the proxy should be changing. Yes, the proxy has changed. Now you close this configuration and you try to reconnect it. Just click on the connect. Okay, now we got connected. Sometime, the MCP server, because it's a browser based, it stores some kind of previous session. So it's better to close it down, run it one time, it will be resolved. Okay. So now if you come down over here, so we have created one simple tool for us. So go to this tool section, click on the list tool. Now see, this get employee has come up, correct? So you can click over here. You can see, what does the tool contain. Okay, so if you come down over here, you see the schema things and required and this one, and it's give you the doc string information. Okay, now if you run this tool, let's say I'm running this tool. Okay, so what it will do, it will give me the result set in JSON format. As you see, the thing has come up. Okay, it is reading actually. So this it is clearly evident right now that our MCP server, okay, is working properly. And if you go to this console log section, you will see that it is getting connected and is giving the response back to the caller. Okay, so that is a proof of evidence that our MCP server has correctly connected. Now let us put Control C. We don't need it anymore. So we will be working on this particular tool with Claude Desktop. Okay. So let us close this section. Great. Now for Claude, what we need to do, we need to run the same command, but instead of dev, we should be typing over here install. But if you are not familiar, from where I'm getting the command, let me show you one more time that if you type MCP over here, you will see that, you see 4 information has come up. Dev to run a dev server, run an MCP server, and install means it will install this configuration of this server to my Claude Desktop client. Okay, so that is the install is all about. So what we are going to do, we are going to change this command to MCP install. Okay, nothing over here. It's very simple. Okay, I massive one MCP install employee.py. Now it says that it has configured Claude config file with the employee server information. Okay, so let's see whether it is done correctly or not. So for that, what we need to do actually, we need to open up. First of all, let's see whether our Claude Desktop is running or not. If it is running, then it will not pick these changes. Okay, so let me verify that thing first, whether our Claude is running over here or not. Okay, so by name, that should be it. Okay, you see the Claude over here? No, C section does not have Claude. Okay, close it. Okay, now this is my Claude Desktop. So if this has configured Claude correctly for this MCP server, then Claude should pick up it. Let's see. We'll verify. Okay, now how to verify? You have to come over here. Okay, you see, this has come up. So this is our MCP server name. Now, if you click over here, you will see that, the tool will be appeared over here, get employee information. Okay. Now, how does the Claude Desktop even look like? Okay. Sorry, not Claude Desktop. How does the Claude config look like? Okay. So you can go over here, file, settings, then come to the developer section, click on the edit config. Okay. So it will give you the Claude configuration file and it will be shown on your folder explorer of Windows, and this is how it is looked like. Okay, let me break it down actually a bit. Now you see this is the Claude Desktop configuration file. So it is connecting to this particular employee.py. Okay, with this server name is employee over here, and it is running the UV to get the job done. Okay, so let it be open over here. Okay, now go back to the chat section. Let me call a new chat over here and ask him, tell me okay, let us see what is in the Excel file first. Okay, we have this information, right? So some people are from the sales team, technical, CIS. Okay, tell me the name of belongs to CIS department. Okay, now if we execute this particular query, you will see that it is asking you that Claude is smart enough to understand that you are looking for an employee information, and it has an MCP server that exposes a tool called get employee info, which can give the employee information. Okay, so it goes back to this particular model called Claude Sonnet 4. Asks, this is the tool available with me, which tool I am going to execute to solve this query. Claude Sonnet responded to him that hey, you have this particular tool, execute that. So it is asking us to give the permission. You can do allow always, but for now, for this activity, to make it very clear, I will just allow once. Okay. So it will go, it will read the entire employee information from my demo source or demo database, and it will show you the result. You see, it has come up with two employees name that has an CIS department tags. Okay. Let verify that. Okay. Lima Brown, correct. Sophia Lopez, Spain, correct. Absolutely. You see, it has picked up. Now make the thing make this query a little complicated one. Okay. So let us say what average salary of female employee. So I'm saying what is the average salary of a female employee. Okay. See, the average salary has come up. Okay. So it's evident that how we are exposing our this particular demo employee database to Claude client so that it can access via this MCP server employee.py, where we have written a very simple function. This is a tool, and Claude is executing this particular tool to get the information out of this Excel, which is our demo database, and answer as per the user query. Okay. So let us extend this part a little bit more. Okay. Now what we are going to do, we are going to create another server. Okay. So let us create another server called notes. Okay, new file. So notes.py. Okay. So let me paste the code first, then I will explain what is the purpose of it. Okay. Now if you paste the code over here, so you see the purpose of this is very simple. Okay. What is the purpose? What it does actually, save notes. It has a, this is a note server. Okay. And node MCP server, notes MCP server, it has two functions, save note and get note. Okay. So save note is that, save the given note content to the file. Okay. So what it does, if in our prompt, if we say that, save this note, okay, then automatically the MCP client will execute this particular tool of MCP server to save the data in our note file. Okay. And our note will be created under this data folder, means over here. Okay. As in file name will be note.txt. Okay. That is the whole purpose. And remember, this is very important. Save the given note content to a file. Okay. Argument is note content. What is the content that we are trying to save? Return in a confirmation message whether it is saved or not. Okay. And another function is that it has reverse get note, means if we want to read our note, read and return the notes from the file, the content of the file, if not found, return an error message. Okay. So now we have created another MCP server over here. It has a two tools over here. One is called save note, one is called get note. Okay. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to install the same MCP server to our Claude so that Claude can understand that. For that, what you can do, so you can just copy paste this portion and change it like notes, and the file name should be notes.py. Okay, that should be it. Put a comma over here. But as you are working for the very first time, let it take the path of automated system. Okay. So what we need that MCP install employee.py. Instead of employee.py, we are going to type notes.py. See, it has come up. As I told you, you can copy or paste. You just need to change the name. This is your employee server. This is your node server. Okay. And this is your node file. Means where the code is, where the tools are. Okay. That's it. Now Claude understand that. But if you open up the Claude, you will see, if you come down over here, you will see that, node has not come up. Because we have changed the Claude configuration file, but we need to restart the Claude. Else it will not understand. Okay. So let us close Claude, but closing the Claude over here will not serve you the purpose. What you need to do, you have to go over here, Task Manager, one more time. Bring the tasks over here. Now go for C, Claude. You see Claude is running over here. You have to click on this, End Tasks. All the 13 will be closed. Now it's closed. Okay. Fine. Now you reopen the Claude. Great. Now you see that should come up. You see note has come up. This is a note. MCP server has come up over here. Previously it was employee. Now notes MCP server has been added. It has a two tools over here, save note and get note, and we are allowing the access. Okay. Now let us supply one question to him that give me the list of who belongs, I missed again, to the HR department and save it to my notes. Now we have added this section. Okay. Now let's run it. Now see, it is going for the employee first because we need this information. So I am allowing one seat. Okay. It will reading the information from my employee demo Excel file or database. Now see, as I supplied another comment, save note to it, LLM is smart enough to redirect the client that for the second part, you need to execute the save note function that is available on the notes MCP server to get the job done. Let me allow it. The complete list which detailed information has been saved to your notes for future references. So it has been saved to my note. Okay. Let us verify that whether it is right or wrong. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Come over here. Okay. Now you see, if you come over here under notes, you see the information has been saved over here. It's created the note file. Okay. And it saved the information. So now we are having two MCP server. Okay. One is employee, which is exposing our demo database of employee, and another is our node, MCP server, which has capability of two tools, set note and get note. Okay. Set note means when we are passing the prompt that, I want to save it to my note, it will execute. LLM will ask the, client to execute this. Whenever we want the information back from the tool, then it will be a get notes. Let's see that example also. Okay. Just type, what is in my note. You see, LLM smart enough redirecting the client to execute the get note function over here. Now you just say, allow once, it will read your note. You see, it says that what our note is containing. Okay. Now you can extend this activity. Means what we want to say that when you are interacting with the LLMs like Claude Desktop, you are doing some kind of research. If you want to save your note in your local file, then only you need a MCP server that capable of exposing two tools for you, get note and save note, and you are done with it. So that is the capability of MCP server. Okay. Now I'm going to show you another beautiful thing, why, the LLM are smart enough. You can say that, the query we have supplied, it's up, you can do it by simple SQL and blah, blah stuffs, what is the advantage of doing the LLM, correct? Now we are going to show you that. Okay. So let me expose a new chat. What I'm going to type, okay. Uh, detailed comparison between between comparison on employees salary with respect to department. Okay, so we are not only asking for the information, rather a comparison. Okay, so now see the power of LLM and save this to my notes. Okay, let me clear out the note file first so that you can understand clearly. Okay, I will delete all the content from here. Okay, now our note does not contain anything. You see it's a blank. Okay, now let us execute these things. It is asking for the get employee. Yep, I will allow it. Now it is analyzing the data. You see what is happening. Just see, it is executing all this code. See the power of LLM. Generic comprehensive report out of it. You saw on BI analysis, these analysis points. Now it is shaping in the notes. Okay. Now you see all the information saved to my notes. So it look back to the database. Okay, our database is analyze the data and save the data points or analysis in our notepad. Okay, you see the entire thing, the entire analysis has been saved over here. Key insight, generate pay analysis by department, geographical distribution, remarks, any recommendation, any everything, the executive summary, company overview, department by department analysis, everything has been saved. Now let's go one step further. Give me a graphical vision. Okay. Now you see, just wait and watch the power of LLM. Why, we need to understand how to work with LLMs to better, going for a better, solution approach that is very fast to deliver, very accurate to deliver. That is where the future is going on. Because you can understand, I can query this particular Excel file in any directions. How many SQL we are going to write as a developer? That's not possible, correct? And what about this analysis? You are taking the data, you are doing the analysis. Okay. But here the LLM is doing all the things for you. You see. It takes away, I think a minute or so to give you the analysis point. Now you see what is done. Okay. Department salary comparison, blah blah blah, and also generate the graphical interface. See, department wise, total employee average salary, highest salary, department wise salary review. You see CIS is over here, technical HR sales. Just see, okay, sales comparison, salary comparison. You see, technical HR, gender analysis by gender, the salary comparison is happening. Okay, you can ask fix the Claude, this particular area. Actually it will fix. So that's the beauty of using, your LLM with the MCP server. Okay. If I click on the employee distribution, you see to employee average salary, technical analysis. All the analysis point has been saved over here. Okay. So I hope you have watched this session. So I'm just going to recap what we have done actually. So today we created two MCP server. One is called employee that has a capability to expose our demo database, that is the employee.info, in a JSON format. And another MCP server that we have created, it has a two method, two tools actually, called save node or get node. So save node is the purpose where we want to save our node to our notepad. Okay. And get node is that, it will fetch the data for us, which is available in our notepad. So two MCP server connected by Claude client over here. Okay. And Claude Desktop is our client, our host is connecting to the MCP server and doing the needful job for us. Thank you, team. Thank you guys for watching, this particular video so long, staying with me. So if you like this particular video section, then wait for the next episode where we'll be discussing more onto it. And obviously, you need to follow this particular YouTube channel, put a like to this YouTube video, and try to subscribe to this channel if you can, and that will help me to get engaged, to get some kind of encouragement from you. And if you have any query, any suggestion, any topic that you want to discuss further, just let me know in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer those questions. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.